name's Marcus, and welcome to this video. Now, as you could probably tell from the title, we'll be looking at this. And I don't know a lot about it yet, but I'm hoping to learn. So the things I do know is that it's a Bang & Olufsen Beogram 3000, and that it's the type 5228. This is my first real purchase of a record player. I have had the Crossley record players before, and they have always been horrible. So I was looking for something made better, and this should be it. Now, this is currently non-functional. It doesn't work, and there are two main and obvious reasons why it doesn't work, which we will talk about, and that need to be fixed before I can tell whether everything else is functional. Now, the reason why I know that these things don't work is that when I plug it in and I turn the record selector switch and press the lift button, it'll start making a noise, but nothing happens on the turntable. It doesn't turn, the platter doesn't turn, and that is because the belt is missing. I have read on countless forums about these types of record players that they are, the belt is prone to failing at some point, but it's completely missing. I think I will also try to show you that. And also, there is this idler wheel that goes from the motor on the turntable, the one that spins everything, the motor. The wheel that connects to the motor is missing, and the wheel that connects to the motor is then the wheel that connects to the rubber band that goes around this, and they are both missing. Now, I have talked to the guy I purchased this from, and he's sending me some spare parts. So I'm gonna be trying to reassemble this. Now, I don't know a lot about electronics, but I have a deep love for mechanical things, and this is one of those things. So let's talk about it a little bit. I'll try to show you where I've gotten to, and so that maybe if I get this working, that somebody else who stumbles upon this type of turntable will be able to be a little bit less in the dark, as opposed to what I've been, because there's not a lot of content on these on the internet, and definitely not on YouTube. But you can go to the forums. I think there are some that are called Beogram and some stuff like that. You can read about them, but it can be hard to understand how they look and work in text. So I will be, just be taking off the top today, and I am hoping that if anybody watches this, that they have some suggestions on what, often the errors that happen with these, what they could be, because I really don't know. So this might have been a complete mistake of a purchase, but it's just such a gorgeous machine. So yeah, let's take the platter off and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, well, now the disassembling will start. Sorry, my English isn't 100%. I'm not a native speaker. I am from Denmark, and also where these are made. These were made. Now we'll be starting with the lid, and the lid on this one, like basically all of them is broken. It's broken. One of the plastic hinges here in the back is it's loose. It's not loose. It's broken in half. So I have seen fixes for that, but I have, until I'm getting to that, I've taken the spring out of the mechanism in here. just so I can have it sit here and not be under a lot of tension. So now I will be attempting to remove this. So how these are attached is that this here thing just slides off to the back. I'll just put it over here. Good. Now it is quite beautiful, right? And now you see here, this is the disc, the record selector switch. So you have your 30 and your 25 and your 17, and I believe that 30 would be, I believe it's in diameter. So this is the 33 and a third record, and this I believe would be a 10-inch, and that this would be the 45. So now we can take a look at a bit up here. The things I do know about these is that it is quite a simple design up here, very clean. In here we of course have the platter, which spins freely right now for a reason that we will get to look at. And in the middle here, I didn't notice this at first, but this is the 45 adapter, very neatly hidden. And then out here you have the ring that you use for getting the correct speed when you need to set it up. And of course out here you have the pickup arm and the cartridge out here, which is quite expensive. So we will start by taking this off. And down here you see we have another platter, and you might wonder, well, how do we get that off? And we start by rotating this a little bit, so it goes out to the 45 position, and then we just wiggle it. And we just keep on wiggling it. Slowly forwards and backwards. And you will see that in here that it's quite a clever solution they have. Yes. Now in here, I don't know if you can see it, but there is this small ring. It doesn't really fall out, but it's quite important. It is what creates the tension with this spindle in here. It doesn't fall out, but keep that in mind when we try to reassemble it. So I will just go get a screwdriver, and I will be right back. Okay, for whatever reason I lost the screwdriver that I was planning on using, but I think perhaps before I take this off I want to show you something. These screws out here, if you're just curious about what they are the transport screws. So you'll notice that as I loosen these, that the turntable becomes more unstable. Or stable, I guess it would be. Now it looks like it's floating a bit higher right now. You can also hear the bumping, but it's just because the top platter is not on right now, and that weighs a lot as well. But for the disassembly, I'll just tighten these again. They are, when you tighten them, it's when you if you need to move this around or transport it, and you don't really want it bumping up and down and taking damage. So when you set it down and you loosen the screws, it's for playing, because if there's a bit of a bump in the room, somebody stomps down, it's not really gonna, hopefully, I don't know, I haven't heard this yet, it's not gonna make the track skip. So there are three screws in here. This is a very good it's almost an English lesson for me. I haven't been speaking a lot of English lately, so I guess this is good practice. But we have these 3 screws, and this is pretty much all the disassembly we'll be doing today. It's enough to show what I'm looking at here. So we'll take the last of the 3 out, and you'll see that in here, you can get it off, you have this disc inside this bowl almost, and you'll see that, if I can show you, that it has these slopes on it. So when you seem to have lost a part. Oh, it's here. Yeah, so when you when the 45, it's the part of the 45 mechanism, so you'll see that it gets tighter when you screw it down. Good. Now I can take off this lower platter, I believe it's called, and we'll be able to start seeing what the issue is. So good. Now we have this top-down view of the mechanism, which I know very little about, other than quite cool looking, right? So this over here, I'll just try to zoom in on it for you. This over here is the problem. There is no idler wheel, which is supposed to be sitting right around here. There's nothing here. This under here is the motor, and I've been told that this should be feeling quite free, and it does when I wiggle it forwards, backwards and forwards. This assembly, when I turn it to the different, 33 and a third and the 45, it moves around, and this does feel quite smooth. And I can also see that most of the parts are there. However, there's something that I'm going to be needing to fix. It's going to be quite hard for me to get a good view of it, however. You see more lighting. That down here we have this little copper thing right on there, and this is a part of the, when you need to select what speed it's running at. There's a wheel on the left side of the turntable at the back, and when I turn it, this copper plate goes up and down, and you see the hole at the end. It's not supposed to be a hole. There's supposed to be some plastic or some felt or some stuff in there, but as I've seen on videos, it's supposed to be quite easy to fix. You just need to find some plastic, and you can kind of glue it on the outside curve of this, and just, I guess, the more plastic you glue on, the higher the chance of it sticking would be. Good. Now this is as far as I've gotten. The seller of this record player, I've got in touch with him because, well, he promised me that it would be running, just not very well, and I guess that is true, but this is not running at all. Yes. Yeah, so as you can see, it is gonna need a lot of work. I've been told that, well, there's no way around eventually flipping it upside down and taking that apart, which I'm quite scared of because I don't know anything about electronics. So yeah, it will need to be probably oiled in the engine, the motor. And I've seen many threads on forums about people trying to oil these motors and having issues with too high RPMs, too low RPMs. But there was one guy who eventually found a proper kind of oil. The rest of the parts I've heard that 3-in-1 oils are bad, so I'll try to find some kind of actual sewing machine oil, which I will try to lubricate the proper places with. I have found some service manuals for these. There are many types of the 3000. There's 1202 and 1201 and this 5228, and they are very similar, but there are small changes when you look into them. So I'm hoping that I can find a service manual that I'm more pleased with, because the ones I've looked at for this, they're missing pages. I believe that the service manual that you find when you search for this is the same one you find all over the internet. So there are missing pages on the pickup arm and on the lifting wheel down there. But I guess I'll just have to find out. Yeah, that's pretty much it for today. I think as a last thing in this video, I'll plug it in and I'll show you how much of it that works. So yeah, I guess I'll do that now. Welcome back. Now, I'm sorry if this video seems out of order. I've never made content before like this. So yeah, now I will be showing you what some of the sounds that happen when I turn it on, and what I think they are. And again, if anybody is watching this, please help me. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Okay. So let's get started. I'll put it in the 33 and a third position, and I will just press the lift button. Now I've noticed that the first time I do this, nothing really happens, and I suspect that is because the what's it called? The engine isn't connected, right? So you notice that something just happened there with the arm. So I'm guessing that the arm is run off the platter assembly in some way. I'm not quite sure how, but we can see that one more time. That I'm spinning this because the engine isn't connected. So when I spin this, first time, nothing happens until it turns off, and I turn it on again, and something happens. And then it decides that nothing is worth buying. But you see that it goes to the correct position, given that I've selected the 30, that is then 33 1/4, and a third it's called. Now there's also the 25. and you see it goes to the correct position here, and that's quite weird. Okay, but we'll try to put in the 45. We will try to put it in the 45. And we will see it lifts up and it goes to the correct position. So I believe that the arm assembly is working marvelous. But it's quite weird. Right? It returns, but it doesn't turn left unless I'm turning the button. I don't know what's going on here. Maybe there's a spring connected. And I believe that some of the noise we're hearing is the engine, because that is bound to be quite noisy, right? Because it hasn't been lubed up for many years. But I think we might also be hearing. I think we might be hearing. I'm not quite sure how the arm is connected to the platter, but it's not always connected. So I'm guessing that there might be a solenoid that pulls the arm assembly into the platter assembly somehow. That must be visible from the inside if we turn it over. I'm not going to do that today though. But you can see that this over here seems to work. I don't have oh, it's connected right now. Good. Yeah, you could just hear the engine turn off. Yeah, so that's correct. It's always on until it turns off. Yeah. So that's how much I know works. You can hear the engine running, and we can see the arm assembly doing stuff that seems correctly. Before I put a lot of money into this, he has promised to send over parts. I don't have a proper rubber belt for it yet. And I will be getting that after I turn out if the stylus and there is no amplifier in this, but I'll still need to check if there's actually audio signals coming out. So I will try to get it running with rubber bands, which it's not going to run very well because the friction on those and the diameters and stuff, it's not at all what this is supposed to. But I would like to see that it works before I put more money into this, because it was still in the state it's in quite expensive for somebody like me. So this will have to wait until I get the parts that he promised to send me. When they come, I'll try to put them in. I'll disassemble it again, put them in, and I'll try to do that on camera. That's also for my own purposes. I will be able to see what I've done. So yeah, I guess that's it for today. And if anybody watches this, leave comments about these machines. Some people on the forums seem to sometimes be a bit cryptic, and sometimes it seems like they're being that on purpose. So I could use help. I could very much use help with this. So if you know anything, please let me know. If you've done this before and you made a mistake, please tell me so I don't make that mistake, because this is such a beautiful machine and it would be such a waste if it needs to be thrown out. Yeah, thank you for watching, if any of you still are.